Hey guys, so here's another video on like house modalities that you can use. This one is particularly good. Probably I rated it among the one of, well, like it says, I'll just show you this. Where is it? The guy who discovered this wrote a book called Earthing, the most important house discovery ever. I think it is, at least definitely at the top. Now today, what is earthing? It's basically connecting with the earth with your bare feet, or with a, through a copper wire, attached to a mat or attached to a earthing sheet, etc. Today I'm going to show a few doctors. Well, this is one of the doctors, Dr. Sinatra, who was actually involved in writing the book, but it was actually Clinton Ober that sort of discovered all this in modern history anyway. But today I'm going to show you a few doctors that have taken it on board, and let's have a look what they've got to say about it. It basically, if you've ever had trouble sleeping, or you've got arthritis or any inflammation at all, or any pain, basically, connecting with the earth will balance out the stress hormone, cortisol. Anyway, I'll give you a rundown of, show you what these doctors. One doctor's got a whole, more or less her whole website is to do with grounding, or earthing. So I'll just show you some of these. They're quite short, so but because this is coming from doctors, so okay, hopefully the audio is going to come out. Now I'll have links to a website that actually, because what happened when earthing first came out, there were no way you could, no products where you could actually, like a grounding sheet where you could sleep grounded all night, basically connected to the earth. What happens when you're earthed is you get electrons from the earth, and the electrons help break down the free radicals going through your body. They give you put in electrons. The body is body is an electrical being, and most people are missing electrons. For instance, water. A lot of people drink water from taps, and water likes to spin when it's moving. When the water goes through your straight pipes into your house, it rips off electrons. So the earth will help, put back electrons into your body. But I'll let these doctors sort of, do the talking. Nowadays, not like when I first started earthing, you couldn't, you had to sort of, if you wanted to connect to the earth, it was either bare feet, or, you have to make your own device. But I'll show you later products you can actually buy, like earthing sheets, mats, so you can be connected to earth while you're on your computer, or whatever. Basically things that you can buy to stay connected to the earth indoors. Okay, I'll let these doctors do the talking now.
Some of the most radical ideas are really the most simple. I mean, you look at grounding, for example, or earthing, putting your bare feet on the ground. You'll soak up lots of electrons because the earth is negatively charged, and our bodies are so full of free radicals from, anything from heavy metals to air pollution, to trans fats. I mean, our body is being inundated with, a firestorm of free radicals. So you got to put the fire out. And you can put that fire out in many different ways. The earliest and the most primitive form of healing the body is putting your bare feet on the ground. I call it caveman medicine, or the barefoot revolution. You go to a beach, or you take a beach vacation, or you go barefoot in the park, or you sleep in a park on your back, or you're looking at the stars at night and you're grounded. People say, I feel really good. It's like when people go on a vacation at the beach, they think, oh, no stress, plenty of sunlight, good restaurants. That's it partially. What's really happening is when they go into the beach, they're grounding themselves. And whether you're in the water or whether you're walking on the sand, and that really shifts the autonomic nervous system to a point where it's functioning better. And that's what it's all about. When you walk barefoot, you're literally soaking up, millions of electrons in the body so you can detoxify the body. Whenever you take on electrons in the body, you're making the blood thinner. So instead of the blood being more like red ketchup, it becomes more like red wine. And we know that hypercoagulable states, sludgy blood, is the most common cause of stroke, heart attack, cancers, tumors, neurodegenerative disease, diabetes. There's so much toxins in our bloodstream, and our blood becomes so viscous, it becomes thick. When you put your feet on the ground, like I'm doing right now, and and my feet are on a ground that has been a little bit irrigated, it's a little bit wet, there's good conductivity. I am soaking up millions and millions of electrons right through my body, and these free electrons will intercept free radicals. And when this happens, the body has a shift. And in our experiments, we showed that within 2 seconds of grounding, you get a change in skin conductance. It's almost like a lie detector test. It happens quickly. And what grounding does, from the cardiac point of view, it improves heart rate variability. It absolutely improves. It shifts the sympathetic nervous system back to the point where our nervous system has more tranquility in it. We call it vagal stimulation. So I am so bullish on grounding as the most primitive, easiest, cheapest way of creating optimum health. Go barefoot in the park, walk on concrete, walk on the beach, walk on sand, go surfing. When you're golfing, take off your shoes for a little bit, ground. After you fly in an airplane, ground. When you do these things, you are really helping the body to achieve an optimal state of homeostasis.
So there you go, guys. Now I'll just put you on to this other doctor. So let's listen to see what this guy's got to say.
Hello, I'm Dr. Thomas Barnes. I'm a Newport Beach cosmetic surgeon. I'm talking to you today about grounding and the many benefits of grounding for pain in the body, inflammation, even for stress, insomnia, and ability to sleep at night. I got involved with grounding about 3 years ago. Clinton Ober brought me the product, and he wanted me to try it on my cosmetic surgery patients. Why? Because we wanted to see if it would diminish any pain and discomfort of the various procedures that I do. Most of them I do awake. And we found that it did. And it also, by grounding people with our tummy pad, it also decreased swelling the next day. Then I found my patients were sharing their belts with family members that had aches and pains and arthritis, that had stress and inability to sleep at night. And I became a real convert. I believe in grounding. I'm grounding myself at home. And now we're sharing grounding with you with our fabulous tummy belt. If you have any questions about our products, we're going to provide you with information. We have over 22 fantastic studies. And I ask you to get involved with grounding yourself with our new company, groundedhealth.com. Thanks for watching.
So there you go. And now I'll just show you one more. This woman is a doctor, and most of her videos are about earthing and how it can help you. Dr. Laura Conover. Let's have a look. Filter out dirty electricity while grounding. Helpful or harmful cell phone safety. Now most of these involve grounding to heal these trauma recovery. Grounding with indoor plants. Grounding to boost metabolism and lose weight. a crucial factor for grounding success. The latest, so she's got the study results, etc. Grounding your brain and sleep, so she goes into it in a bit more depth. How grounding supports your muscles and bones. Where did that go to? Grounding for chronic disease. So she's obviously bought a lot of stuff. Grounding. This is safe to ground indoors, so you can learn about that. So once again, this is Dr. Laura Conover. How grounding supports your heart. Grounding and hormone balance. What else? Oh yes, there's also a that's about the grounding documentary that came out. There's a whole documentary about it. Let's continue on. So, she's a doctor, so she must be impressed to do all these videos. I think that one's actually about grounding too. And I think that one is. They pretty much all are. Well, since she discovered grounding anyway. So there you go, guys. Now, where is it? Back here. I'll show you some products that you can be grounded indoors. So you can be grounded indoors. So there's sheets. You basically connect it. There's two ways you can connect these grounding sheets. They plug just to the earth. The other two, positive and neutral, are shut off, and only the earth of the plug is connected there. You can do it that way, or you can stick a wire connected to a rod out the window, and I'll show you that you can buy those too. There's a grounding mat, so you can be grounded while you're on your computer, etc. You can buy a whole, like a sleeping bag that's earthed. There's the grounding band, so you stick that there. You can stick that there around your hand or leg while you're on your computer or whatever. There are patches, so if you've got a certain pain somewhere, you can stick the pain right on. You've got a sore arm or painful arm or leg, stick the patch where the pain is. Now look at this. They've actually got footwear that is grounded, so you don't have to go barefoot. You can wear these and you'll still be grounded. Accessories. So I'll just press on that. So I'll just show some accessories, so you can test whether the socket is earthed, because some of the very old houses are not earthed. So yeah, different plugs for different countries. Socket testers, conductivity tester. There's the book. It's in different languages. Now here's the different wires to connect to the sheet or whatever. Different wires. There's the grounding rod that I'm talking about. So that connects to your bed or wherever, and then you put the wire out the window and you stick that rod into the ground. I've found that the rod in the ground is better, rather than going through the earth of the house. Okay. But definitely one of the best healing things that I've found, especially for inflammation, or if you don't sleep, you've never been very very deep sleeper, this will help you definitely.